what it is.
What's up?
Got your person in there?
Person in the cut.
God damn.
I think we need to update it and sing the Doichi one. I hope I said her name right.
Okay.
But we need to study.
I don't even know who that be because
I'm sure you heard it. What it is, how.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, I have. It's a TikTok one.
Yeah, the TikTok one.
How are you?
I'm good. I am so many things. I feel like, I don't know, guys. It's been so long. We're gonna get into that, but it has been the longest time, like almost half a year, basically. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm surviving. I have been better. This year has been a taker. It has taken like speed is got 2021. Was a watata unyaka, but it's fine. We're still alive. We're still here. We're still pushing. And sometimes that's all that matters. Adiazi. But second half of the year, we go hard.
Yeah. We always speak very highly of the second half.
Second half of the year is when things happen.
Change anytime soon. Yeah,
it's 100%. When things happen.
I already started my July. My July started off with a bang, and I was like, oh my god.
Mine is also pretty interesting.
Love to see it. But yeah, guys, it's been a minute.
It's been so long. Feels like forever. You can tell who the singer is here. It's not me.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people definitely. I think that's something that that beats our ass all the time. A lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I wish you guys would like upload more." And I'm like, guys, because we're out here talking about life. Maybe sometimes
life is happening.
Life can happen. Life can happen. Let life happen a little bit to us, so we have stuff to talk about. That's content creation.
I'm very scared of that. I'm very scared of that.
That's just how it is. But yeah, what we're gonna do with this episode is just to sort of like catch you up on where we've been at, what's happening, where we're going, and answer some listener questions as well. But yeah, Sniper.
Amen. I think firstly, what we really need to do is apologize for the drop in quality. I think over the last year or so, we've actually committed to fixing that by ensuring that we try record face to face as much as possible, which should be fixed from September onwards. So thank you for bearing with us. It's amazing to see people stick with you even when you sound so bad. So yes, and actually very few people have complained about that. So
which is crazy.
Thank you for the grace. Thank you for the grace.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
I think, as Misha said, this is basically an episode on life updates. So to try preserve the sound quality, it might feel very monologue-y because we're trying to make sure that we can get the best out of the situations that we're in. Interestingly enough, there's been a very weird shift. While Misha moved back to Joburg, I've been trying to move to Cape Town.
Crazy.
How wild is that?
So wild, dude.
Yeah, it's just it's like we weren't. It's too much people who are too great being in the same place at the same time. Life didn't want that. But we'll see what life will give us in the second half of 2023. Yeah. I can't believe it's already 2023. I feel like we started this when 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Years ago.
It's been so long. But I feel
we're still going.
Literally still going. I also think like this episode is sort of about us setting boundaries and sort of setting the tone for how we would like to proceed, because we've had a lot of thinking in terms of what we're actually doing with this podcast, what we want to do, and what we don't want to do, and what we want to stop doing. And I think personally for myself, one of the things has been that I believe each person deserves an element of privacy. And I've reached a point where I actually want to limit the amount of reflections I have on my mothering and on my parenting, because I don't want a space where one day my child is listening to this and she's like, you were saying all of these things, you were honging all this English, but I never experienced any of that. And I feel like we've experienced that, right? Where we see how our parents speak about raising us, or speak about how other parents are operating, and we're like, but the way you've been to me, literally. So I'm not trying to be is this you'd. And also, I'm not trying to have someone feel like I was more preoccupied with how I'm being perceived instead of how I was actually raising them and how I was actually guiding them through life. So I think, please, if the expectation from any of y'all is that I will speak on that young lady here, you're going to be disappointed. And then secondly, I had such a very weird interaction. And if this was you, sorry to you, because I was in a shop, I think it was New Balance, Canal Walk, and someone's like, Magazaz. And I was like, I don't know why that felt so weird, dog. Because I was like,
I hear you.
I don't want to imagine any place in the world where people relate to me through that, and it's not a space it's not a space that I occupy through the existence of my child. Like,
we don't even call you that, actually.
Exactly.
I've never called you that.
But
I've never actually done that.
I was stuck in that moment. I froze, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I hope this person doesn't think that like I'm extremely offended. But it was just so jarring to me that people can have these parasocial relationships with you and with your child. And I think that's why I've pulled away from social media until I can get an understanding of how I can occupy that space safely for myself, but most importantly for my child. So if you don't know me in a context that is through my child, like I would understand somebody being like, Magazazi, in a space where this is my child's play group, and they know me through her, then that is like the level of familiarity we can have within that space. But for someone who clearly knows me possibly through the podcast or the internet, I don't want that. Like, there's a very particular way I want my child to enjoy a level of privacy, and I feel like in the spaces that I can protect that, I would love to. So this is one of the things that will literally exist within this space going forward. And in terms of a personal updates, was a personal unyaga, like some of the things I can't even get into, but it's been such a challenging year. I think this is the first year since Christmas 4 that I've had to deal with whiteness because of how much I've been in Cape Town. And I was always one of those people that like, Cape Town's not racist. Cape Town's not more racist than any other place. And I feel like on a social level, I really relate to that still. But I've just had some really interesting experiences that I still haven't put in words. And I think maybe further on in the podcast, once I've digested them, and I've actually reflected on what certain experiences have meant, I'll be able to speak on them. But I feel like on the personal growth and lessons learned during this period, I think every year we should just experience 6 months where we are outside of external influences. I just think it's a really beautiful thing. It's so grounding. You are just so well rooted in yourself that even when experiences come that are supposed to make you doubt yourself or your capabilities or what you stand for and who you are, it's just water over a duck's back because you are so rooted. And I just feel like it's a constant theme. Just isolation doesn't always have to be perceived as negative. You can take some time to yourself and just come back to the world from such a stronger point. And I feel like I keep learning that lesson. And just, being able to acknowledge community and support that you receive from community, being able to be vulnerable and open about challenges that you're experiencing with the people you believe will be able to help us. That's I think that remains a key learning for me. What's happening to you, girl? I'm gonna put myself on mute so that you can be clear.
So yeah, there's a lot going on. I think at the same time, there's like, it almost feels like there's a whole lot of nothing going on, which I really appreciate. I think for so long, life was so, like, I was just always so preoccupied. I think for the longest time, I've always been so preoccupied. There's always something to do. There's, this is needing me, that is needing me, whatever. And I think I realized more now than before that I actually didn't really have much time to myself. I didn't have much time for things that I found interesting. I carved out that time because I knew I needed it, but I don't think I realized just how little time I had. And so literally this year, as you all know, I finished school, I graduated, and then I think I realized, like, oh my word. Well, actually, let me just take it back there. So since the last episode, I had received my results, and I kept quiet about them, I think, for about a week or two. So I had gotten my results, but I still had to do my revisions on my paper and all of that. So I kind of just kept quiet about it. And the funny part, one of the reasons I kept quiet about it was actually because I got my mark, or rather I was told I passed. And for whatever strange reason, I really felt sad. I think I found out on a Friday, and I spent the entire weekend sleeping. I literally was in bed the whole weekend. I just was so sad. I was out of sorts. It was crazy. I need to stop saying that. It was not good. And basically, yeah, I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was, maybe my reality sort of setting in. I don't know if it was a process of grieving, because, we are humans. Sometimes you feel you need to grieve things, and I perhaps maybe felt I needed to grieve that part of my life. And so, that got done. I graduated, which was great. That was really lovely. Boring as per usual, but it was so boring. We sat there for so long, but it was great. I think I experienced relief then. I think a lot of people were like, oh my God, you don't seem like as happy or whatever. And I'm like, I won't lie to you guys. First of all, I'm generally not just
happy. Yes,
but I'm not the type you look at and go, that person is really happy. Not because I'm not happy, but you
don't express your happiness in the way we've been told happiness can only be expressed in. I get you
100%. And I mean, it's definitely gotten me in trouble a couple of times, but whatever, I'm grown now, so I don't think I care as much. But yeah, I think more than I was happy, I was relieved. I think that's a fair sort of thing to say. I think I was happy more than I was relieved. I mean, I was relieved more than I was happy. And so yeah, literally, since then, I really then felt the need to really rest. I think I felt the push to rest properly then. I think I had definitely felt the push to rest for a long time, but I think it kicked in officially after graduation. And I've just sort of found myself, I mean, I kind of called it, I already was in those first couple of, months of the year, but I think more than ever, I definitely have taken, when you spoke about isolation, I really relate because that's where I'm at right now, where I feel like I'm completely isolated almost. I don't really see anybody in person. Don't talk to many people either.
I have a question for you. Sorry, I hope I don't push you off track. But it's very interesting to experience isolation with very limited loneliness. Like,
yes,
it's you almost always waiting for the loneliness to set in, and sometimes it doesn't come, or it's not as intense.
Yeah, fully. And I mean, I definitely, I mean, I'm sort of in that situation where I literally, sometimes I'm like, I haven't really left the house in a couple of days, I probably should just like get out. And not because I feel out of sorts or I feel like, oh my God, like crisis ahead. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I probably need to do it. I don't know. But I'm definitely in that phase where I'm experiencing it. I'm experiencing isolation without the loneliness. Has it come before? A couple of times here and there. I think it was probably before I really like started taking, because I had to, another thing that happened was I experienced the biggest physical crash probably I've ever experienced ever. I was exhausted, man. Like, I was so tired. I wake up tired. I go to sleep, I'm tired. Even if I sleep long, I'm tired. So, I had to do a lot of, doctor's visits. I went and saw my doctor, and it was an iron problem, I guess. And I think since I've been taking my iron tablets, I've been relatively okay. But yeah, it's been very interesting. I don't have a lot to say either. Not on the podcast, but I mean like everywhere else on the socials.
Yes,
I'm sure you guys have noticed.
I feel like we've been saying too much for too long.
We've been saying too much.
Like we've been on this since we're 13, 14. Chronically online every single day.
Chronically online, always having something to say.
Hey, yo, as too late. As too late. And giving too much of ourselves. Giving way 100%. Too much of ourselves, like not even having safe spaces to interrogate our thoughts, having people take advantage of your appetite for learning, having people take advantage of your youth. Like the things that make us cringe from younger kids, we all were doing that. The way we feel like at some point, I'm hoping this person doesn't reflect and feel like they were hurting themselves. Like, we've hurt ourselves quite a lot.
100%. So, and I think I even once, because I think for the longest time maybe I felt I was on a platform like Instagram because I was like, oh, I've been so open about this thing, let me just finish what I started. And it definitely felt like that. But honestly, if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't even have posted anything about graduation. But then I remembered, oh, actually, no, people have actually asked. And I also offered myself in that regard, let me finish what I started. But I think immediately after I did that, I was
like, what am I doing?
What am I doing? I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to share.
Every time I post something on Instagram, I'm like, what am I doing? And until that feeling goes away, I don't know. I don't know. Exactly, and it's like, there's this kind of understanding that you cannot operate in certain industries without being on certain platforms. And I think you just need to break that, find another way.
100%.
Like, I don't have to give you access to myself in the same traditional way. And also, who are we making this easier for? Like, if we're saying we're continuing with the podcast, why must it be that the only platforms that we can amplify it on are those traditional platforms that we're actually feeling quite a bit of frustration with? I don't know.
And
I think we need to stop being lazy.
Our personal ones.
Yes. Why must it be?
I don't want to have to promote my I don't want to have to stay on a social media so I can promote my podcast. Also you guys know that we're dropping or whatever.
Yeah, I think we need to find other ways.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, if we need to just come up with sort of strategies to sort of be connected to you guys without sort of compromising our, where we're at right now and the frustrations that we're dealing with regards to social media. I think, I really don't have anything to say. I
mean, that's where we end. That's where you end the podcast. Silence.
That's where we end it. So I mean on social media, of course. I think on my Twitter I'm back on there, but I feel like I just tweet like mundane stuff, And even then I'm like, there's that little part of me that just keeps out of fear of, I don't know, experiencing a nothingness, and I wish that could like unhand me, because I've done life without Twitter for ages. I mean, shout out Elon or
kuthiwa uyanikresha.
Like, first of all, it's the fact that he spun the whole rate limit thing as guys, it's just a business thing. Meanwhile, it was a glitch.
That's hectic. But also this thing of being so comfortable
badly.
with just lying to your consumers on that level, like
Yeah,
damn, you don't even need to.
That's not good. Yeah, that's
You
really,
don't even
it's
need
not
to.
necessary, you know. But yeah, that's me. That's been my life. I've just been trying to rebuild, trying to, you know, sit in that, you know, being restored. I do feel like I am being restored. I'm coming back to whoever myself is.
Or your new
you know,
self.
bit by bit. My new self, exactly. I'm busy trying to, you know, I'm getting hobbies. I'm trying out stuff. I like started buying Lego sets.
Nice.
'Cause I was like, you know, while I'm always in the house, because I don't really want to be outside and I don't want to be around crowds either. Because I'm also just very tired. I think emotionally and physically.
And also
I think I'm trying to keep myself busy. Yeah.
we can't have these constant years of building. Like, when do they end? Because our bodies are like, we're tired of this building. So something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Something somewhere.
But yeah, that's me. That's me on life right now. There isn't a lot going on. I really am just sitting in my nothingness, and trying to just enjoy that, however best I can. Trying to sort of let it work for me, however best it can. You know, if I feel the move or push to be a bit more of a person, then sure. But right now I'm content with where life has me. There's a lot that I'm downloading. There's a lot that I'm uploading. You know, there's a lot that I'm learning about myself during this time, and I'm happy about that. And I'm happy to sort of be back here. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the year and beyond. I'm going to pivot us. We have a new section that we actually want to introduce. Listener questions. We're going to try a couple. We put out a Google Forms link on our socials. And, you know, I think a lot of people have definitely asked for this section. Even one of the questions did, actually. And yeah, I think it will be really nice to sort of interact with you guys. It may not be live, but we're interacting, you know, even sort of more, especially considering how we also just want to be less on the socials. And I think this is a really good way for us to interact with everybody, you know, in a sort of better way, and in a meaningful way too. Cause yeah, I don't always feel like that, like every day to day, we post you like, is that meaningful?
I don't think so. I don't think that's engagement at all.
Exactly.
So I think we need to focus on community engagement in a more constructive way than we post. You say, ooh. You know,
can't
like
wait for the episode.
No, and also it doesn't,
because like I really don't want to manage the social part.
But outside of that, it also doesn't have to be so public facing, because some of the things that we are discussing, it's quite a lot. So some people don't want it to be seen or known that it's them that are raising a query or that related to something in a certain way. And I think the core of this thing was never to be performative or like an exhibition of other people's lives and all of that. So we really do need to devise ways to do things in a way that's more sincere. It might not be the way,
and especially if we say that this is a labor of love for us.
True.
It needs to work for us. We're not tied to any capitalist sort of expectations where this podcast is involved. I'm not saying in general, because life is life.
And life is long.
Life is long, and the girls gotta make some money, you know. But I'm saying in this instance, that isn't always the case. We aren't working. You guys see, you know, when we're working with brands and when we're not. And so, you know, we want to keep it a labor of love by not, you know, putting on these like unnecessary sort of pressures. If it's not worth it if I feel like I have to do something that is you know, compromising to where I'm currently at. yeah, it's just, it doesn't hit. And it's also, I'm underserving you guys as well. You might not see it that way, but let's be very for real.
True.
It is us underserving you guys. If that were the case, you know. So yeah, let's devise some plans.
And let us
let's make this
know,
work.
like people can let us know if there are any ideas, like we can put that out there, or platforms, new platforms that we can use to make things a bit more sincere.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, do you want to read some of the questions from people?
Yes. So I don't even know which one to go with. Let me see. Any mini miny mo. Any mini miny. Some of these are definitely sort of asking questions. How has the first 6 months of 2023 been? Missed you so much. We missed you too. We've already answered that technically. Do you wanna add a little bit more?
Nah, I think we gave a full, a very full.
Then this was actually the question. Can you guys have a segment? Please have a segment on your show where people can ask for advice, even if it means reading one letter. That would be dope. So this is us answering the call. That's definitely going to be happening.
She said, "Us, sis Dolly."
Yeah. Yes. We're definitely going to be doing that. So let's do one question. I'll find like a nice meaty one. A friend of mine did something to other people that goes against some of my fundamental values. Please advise me on how to handle the situation, because at the moment I have just gone silent, but I feel like going ghost isn't the way to handle this situation. I'm also dealing with a big life transition, so kuningi. Oh no. Child.
That's an interesting one. So
what's your take?
So I don't know, if somebody does something that goes against your values, there are multiple options. The ones that come to the top of my mind are: A, is this something that you feel is worth discussing with the person? Or is it something that you feel like there are things that people can do that make you feel like, because you've done this, I cannot engage with you on a human level. And I do not want any relationship further. Most people would probably want to address that. But me, depending on the person and what I know, like, of the person, because obviously this is a close friend of yours, so you would have a personal history. There would be situations that you've seen them tackle in a certain way. And if you feel like in this situation, I'm going to be re-traumatized or gaslighted, usually I would prefer not engaging with that person any further. Other people call that ghosting, but to me, I'm preserving myself. I've already been traumatized by whatever they've done, and having to deal with somebody in my life doing that. You get me? And then there's a second part where other people will feel like maybe this person deserves a confrontation, or who they know this person to be outside of what they've done deserves the right to a conversation about the thing. There are very few times where I've ever been that person. I can only count it. I can't even count it on a single hand, because dog, I've learned, there's nothing that kills me more than being gaslighted. And then, if there are multiple life changes that are happening, you really need to measure your plate and what you can deal with. Like, can you carry the confrontation that you feel you need to have? Can you add that onto your plate? Will you be able to chew through that along with everything else that's going on? Or because this thing doesn't directly affect you, because also we need to remember it wasn't done to you, it was done by somebody close to you. Are you able to put it aside and deal with all these life changes that you feel you have right now? Like, is dealing with this thing going to derail you in the way that is going to make your own personal issues heavier? So you always need to, I feel like, I like weighing things, because sometimes we will attack things head on and then they make us spin and we find ourselves like, dude, there's nothing I love right now more than the fact that anything that is weighing me down is mine. And I feel really grateful to be in that space, because it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of selfishness to move outside, like, and push away other people's things. But yeah, it would be interesting
hear
to hear
you.
what you think.
I hear you actually so much. I think I don't want to say past me, but I would say I would probably be like, yo, friend, I don't rock with this. I don't rock with this. In fact, not even I didn't. I just simply don't. And it's gonna end there. I think maybe if it's the first time, most likely, I probably would have been like, yo, don't rock with this. I'm really not a fan. And for me, I think their response would then show me how to continue. My gray stocks are like really low because I like overspent those on my ex-best friend.
Yeah, I born alone.
That's my problem. So please note that this question is informed by that.
Yes.
I mean, this answer is informed by that. So you'll probably hear me in two minds about it because obviously I'm operating from a space of I have this experience where a very good friend of mine did this and for many years and all these I extended so much grace and X, Y, and Z and then now I'm here, I'm burnt. But I think previously, before dealing with the situation that I dealt with, I would have had that conversation with them to be like, listen, this made me deeply uncomfortable and it's bothering me, hence why we're gonna have this chat, and definitely their reaction or their response to me would say something about what's up.
My problem is I never have those conversations, and by the time someone does something, I'm like, you know what, it's fine. I've given you the grace. Because
I've given you the
because
grace already,
the thing is, those conversations have always been positioned as like me or someone trying to find something that's wrong or constantly. And I've also always been like, okay, give me. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially people that are in my life.
Exactly.
And so I'm not assuming that you're doing the thing because you are being malicious, but then I think people get addicted to doing the thing because they get a rush or a feeling of power, and then it becomes a pattern, and by the time they do something big.
Also, I love that you said that. Another thing also is that people do those things so that they can get the rush of attention from the people around.
And every time you confront them, it makes them feel alive.
Exactly.
And
it's like, please, if you're that friend, I'm begging, and you're listening to this part, I'm begging you, stop it right now, because you're making life difficult for yourself primarily, always, but
and you're stinking up the place.
You're stinking up the place. You're scaring the hoes. So no. So but yeah, I think I probably would have had that conversation, but at the same time to let them know, like, listen, if this is not something that you really care to fix, like, I don't know, I probably would say it like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna give a grown up an ultimatum about how to behave themselves around other people. I can give you ultimatums about how to handle yourself around me. But I don't want to feed into the thing of, it's fine if you do it to other people. It's just not fine
if you do it to me. And I think a lot of people make that mistake where they, like, I've done that multiple times where I can see bad behavior, but until it affects me, I'm sort of like, uba nunjalo. So I think kudos to that person for being able to be like, actually, I don't like how this person is treating another person or what they've done to another person. So I actually don't want anything to do with them. That's very different.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We're doing 2 parts for this episode. So I know this is a bit of a cliffhanger. We're going to, in part 2, we're going to be handling the rest of this question and other questions. We're going to do quite a number of questions. So, to be continued. Thank you guys so much.
For now.
For now.
Please comment, subscribe, all those weird things.
Yeah, all those great things. Thank you guys so much. Okay, bye.